All right, good evening, everybody. Sound check, please. Sound check, 1, 2. Hopefully sound is coming through. Can anybody hear me? Sound check. Thank God. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And before I do anything, I'm just going to ask everybody: do you want me to go through Bitcoin real quick first, or do y'all have something pressing you want me to look at? Anything pressing, or just go right to Bitcoin? All right. So let's do this. Everybody was talking 8,000, and I get it, but here's the deal, and this is kind of what, especially last night when I saw all this, I thought, big green stick, it's breaking out, right? But the thing I kept watching was the upper part of this wedge that I've drawn. And if I go over to a 4-hour chart, you'll be able to see it a little bit clearer. And what I was worried about is, because this happens from time to time, right? Either lines aren't drawn correct, or, you got to give yourself a little leeway. So, but the key to me was the 1272 retracement right up here. And I drew that from this high to this low and was watching this whole rally, and sure enough, it tagged it almost to the penny. And I actually misdrew it the other night. I had it at like 74.66, but I forgot about this low right here. So give it like 10 sats or whatever. But you get this overthrow right here and wicks, no close above, and we're testing it, and then we hit a fib retracement. And that's why I said last night, let's watch for, and I'll show you a Bitcoin futures chart here in just a little bit. This is pullback time, right? This is the area. You're not wanting to chase it right up here at 7,500. You want a little bit of a retracement because we've got an overall bullish move, right? And it's going to be bullish until it breaks out of this pattern one way or the other. Okay, so things are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. And, again, we're watching the Bollinger Bands. They get tight, they break out, tight, breaks out. So now we're going to watch this over the next few hours. And I would say probably, 7, 11. So it could happen somewhere in the middle of the night, before everybody wakes up. Or for you, people that are in Europe, it could happen during the daytime. But let's watch the Bollinger Bands again. Right now, it's bullish because the 10 and the 20 are still hanging on right here, right? They haven't crossed each other, and it just bounced off the 50% retracement and the 20-day moving average, the EMA. So what does this all look like long term? Okay, that's a 4-hour chart. What does this all look like on daily? Well, we got what we was talking about back here. We got the daily cross of the 10 and the 20. And I was thinking that this thing might pull back, possibly even to come back, and it still might come back and test the 10 EMA. That's going to be around now, today it is, or even the 20. Somewhere between 68.50 and, let's call it 69.50, somewhere in that range. But the price it'll go higher, right? The support will. So 69.78 is looking like a prime time spot. It's a 61.8 retracement. Anything below that, and you're testing the bottom part of the wedge, the 78.6, and you can see how tight it gets here. So this has to resolve itself pretty soon, I would think. Okay, and that's why I've been holding off giving a red alert, because it's not there yet. All right, we're getting closer, but And when I say red alert, I'm not saying sell off. Okay, I said yellow alert is buy to be cautious, right? You can buy some, but be cautious. Red alert is expecting a big move, unless I specify other ways. Whether I think it's going up or down, then I'll just leave it at that, right? Any questions on that? All right. And basically today, all we've got so far is just an inside day of the green candle right here. Okay. Close at the top. The other thing I want to point out, and like I say, we'll go look at the futures chart here in just a minute. But on your 4-hour chart, you get this little pattern right up here. All right. That's a reversal pattern. Okay. That was a reversal pattern. So maybe this thing is just, that's not I wouldn't call that like a true, well, it could be an evening star. But it just doesn't look right. It's not a full body, what I like to see as far as, but it counts as a reversal pattern because you got the doji and it's just basically reversing these guys over here. Just basically retracing the move. Okay. So hopefully for Bitcoin, it can stay, let's call it maybe even back to the 233, 69.40 if it wants to pull all the way back to the 200, which I really would not like. That's possible too, and that would be the lower Bollinger Band, right? But right now it's in a bullish pattern. There's no arguing that, right? So higher highs, higher lows, and just keep the train rolling. Just pullbacks and go higher. And maybe it eventually chews its way up to, 8,000 right up in this area. I don't think, despite what everybody else is telling you about FOMO, this and that you have to just buy it immediately. Just today, now might be a decent chance, if you wanted to get some. You don't have to go all in, but you could definitely buy it. And I'll go back to this, right? I've mentioned this time and time again. The patterns, right? So let me just zoom in here, and I'm not going to try to bore you for too long. But this whole thing back here, when we got this monster run, look at this beautiful bottoming action, and it took months, right? It took months for that bottom to form. You had that nasty reverse down, and then look at where your 200 and 233 were back then. Screaming down, that just acts as resistance until they get tighter and price comes up to meet it, right? Came up to meet it here and didn't like it. Came up here, didn't like it. Came through here, and once it busted through, then there you go. That turns things around to bullish, and that's when you can start really being aggressive on your buying. We're not there yet. So everybody that thinks we're going to 13,000 tomorrow or in the next week, sorry. The market just doesn't work that way. Now, I could be surprised and there could be some news out there, but I'm just looking at the charts and I don't see it just yet. Does that make sense? That's a weighted moving average, and that is weight coming down on it. That's still a bunch of these guys back here that are wanting to sell and get out, right? Bag holders, once we clear them out, then we're good. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had a glitch. Apparently YouTube is doing some stuff, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. Hey Todd, good to see you. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to be the main theme going into this, is that, people are going to expect the halvening to get this all the way to 13,000. And I'm sorry, but I just think at this point, we might be a little disappointed, right? Now, I'm not going to count out maybe 10,000 or maybe even the upper part of this downtrend line right in here, which could be, 10,500. Okay? But I'm looking at this wedge pattern right here, and it's giving me pause. I mean, I'm bullish by nature, but I've got to call it like I see it, right? I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't. Now, what I would really love to see is if it pulled back and maybe tested this 10 EMA and the 20 after that cross, and hold that and then go higher. That, and then break the pattern to the upside, and then you might get some FOMO action going. Okay? I'm not going to call it all the way to 13,000, but you could get a lot of people fearing that they're going to miss everything. But watch a potential possible break to the downside as well. That can happen. Just make sure if you're playing it, guys, keep stop losses. Okay? That will protect you because it's going to start getting pretty volatile here pretty soon. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Any questions? Oh, I looked at the 4 hour just because I like to look at, like shorter term swing trade stuff. This is like for the next, I would call it for the next day or two. It like gives me I'm not going to sit there and look at it on a daily chart and make my decisions based on that. 4 hour chart will basically help you out a lot better, right? So that is Bitcoin. And then while we're on the subject, and Todd, I'll get to NEO here in just a minute, but I want to go ahead and look at, let's go ahead and look at the Bitcoin futures, and let me type it in here, and I'm going to have to change my, let me get over here real quick. And I may change my pointer focus just so you guys can see it a little bit better. Let me do that just real quick because you're not going to be able to see where I'm pointing to. Let's do this. Let's change that to yellow and... All right. So we're good now. Okay, so here's the futures chart, right? And really, I mean, I took a lot of the other fib extensions out because it's broken those. So according to this, we could have free reign up into this area around 8,000. Okay? And especially this fib cluster right up here at 8165, 8170. But the big thing is you got this upper Bollinger Band right here that is going to be resistance. And then the other thing you got is that your 10, at least on the future chart, has not crossed the 20 yet. Has not. Okay? Hasn't crossed it. And then above you got the 100 and the 50 just above, and then the 200-day moving average up here. The good thing for bulls, there is the squeeze indicator, and it is fired off to the long side. How much momentum we get out of this remains to be seen, but we've got the green dots. It's confirmed. So technically, it's a buy the dip mentality. Okay, and on the future chart, that's around 69 to 68.50. Let's call it to 6,900. I don't see any divergences just yet. But, let's just, and doesn't this, I mean, after this big, long drop right here, this is basically what you would almost call, I mean, I'm sure Elliott waivers would probably call it a correction, right? All we've done, and you got to keep this in mind, is we're still within this red candle. There was a big seller back here, okay? Big sellers right there. Get above that, and we can start getting happy, joy again. Okay, that's above 8,000. Still a gap to fill up here at 90.60. And then you got the one up here at 11,800. Okay. So let's just keep an eye on this. I want to see, if we maybe go flat for a couple of days and let the moving averages cross over and then maybe even come back and touch them and then take off. Right? That's the bullish cause. Bears are wanting this to hit this upper Bollinger Band and then just ricochet and go right back down lower and get cheaper prices. That's the bearish view. Again, like I say, I'm an ultra bearish person or bullish person, but I've got to call it like I see it. And basically all we're doing is coming right back into this little area that was big support and is now resistance, right? You can just take your mouse and look over here to the left and you see the whole area that was support when it made this run. Well, that whole area right over there is acting as resistance. Okay? So that's what I've got on Bitcoin. I know that somebody in the channel wanted to know about the SPY. And basically here's kind of my thoughts on it. Oop, wrong chart. Okay, so for the stock market, this is your S&P 500 chart, and this one does have a bearish divergence, okay? Hitting price right up here at the upper Bollinger Band, okay? Hey, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it, buddy. And I don't know. I'm just eyeballing it. Who knows? Let's do this. Let's just do there we go. Let's just do kind of a move extension and see where things might line up here. So SPX possibly back up to 288 before making that move down. I know today was a kind of a sell-off day. It was a nasty candle, and it hit the upper Bollinger Band. Okay, that's why Bollinger Bands are so important, because it got close to the 50% retracement up here around 278, close to 279. And I've been talking about this for a while, guys, is that you have got to watch. I mean, I don't think that was at the absolute bottom. Now, I could be wrong, but this pattern right here is just basically a corrective pattern. And then you want to see maybe if it comes down and retests this low. And if it does and it holds that, then then we can go higher, a lot higher over time, right? It's not going to happen in the next month or two, but just something to look forward to, and the 10 and the 20 still haven't crossed. It's above the 20-day moving average, but you've still got your 50-day moving average up here, and it's going to act as a resistance if it does get up here. So you could get a 1-to-1 extension, maybe a move up to 280, what is that, 287, 288, 289. That's what you could get. Squeeze indicator, right here, let's see. Well, it's fired off to the long side. Okay, I'd like to see another one. So maybe tomorrow is a buy dip type deal and then go higher. We'll see. Right now, I'm not just ultra bullish right now on the market. It got the nice bounce after this massive sell-off. So I'm just not big time bullish on the markets right now. Anthony, what's the measurement from SPY bottom to the top of that wave? So you're talking about like up here? Oh, you're talking about from here to here, like an ABC? Yeah. Yeah. If this wave equals the next one coming up, then you're looking at 290, 289, somewhere in that area. Okay? As not like what I would consider a V bottom. Well, it's a 1-to-1, right? This wave right here correct back here, and this up here completes the move. So, I mean, is it possible? Now, I will say this: here's the thing. You got to remember what's in the S&P 500. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of junk as well. At least now, and things are changing, right? Let's just face it, guys. The world we know is not going to be the same anymore. You're going to see startup businesses at home. That's coming. People are just going to be so afraid, it seems like to me, to get out and do anything. I mean, have you ever seen so many people walking around with masks over their mouths? I mean, it's that scary for them. And it should be. This is a dangerous virus. But at some point, we're going to have a cure for it. There's going to be some antivirals, antibodies coming, but the market is going to tell us when they think that's going to happen. But I think everybody else is going to be like so scared to go outside because they're going to catch it, Anyway, I think it's very possible we get a little bit more out of SPX, but this area up in here is going to be major resistance. I mean, huge. And if it breaks that, then hey, we've got something else on our hands. But I'm just looking at it from what I've seen in the past, and this is typical in this type of bear market. It's a bear market rally. Saw this 20 years ago. I saw it, 10 years ago. Well, excuse me. Yeah, but here's the thing: is that with earnings, I think much of this has, at least this move right here. Everybody knew, and that's what markets do. They price in what the GDP is going to look like. They price in what the earnings are going to be. And so, let's see. And I guess, what you're going to get is a lot of companies saying, well, we just don't know what to forecast. Okay, well, we already know what the market thinks, right? They just don't think that this is going to last. Yeah, are people maybe possibly going to start going back to work? Yeah, but it's not going to be a full-fledged, get up in here where everything was way overpriced. Okay, I kept looking for an SPX top or SPY top back in here, and then it did this little, I should have known better, right? But I kept looking for an SPY top right back in here. And it just kept inching. Bears getting anxious, and just having to cover. Looks like it's a bottom, or looks like it's top, drop, go higher. So, anyway, it's just more volatile right now. So, just be careful out there. I don't think now's the time that you have to. Now, back here, yeah, you could have bought some stuff. Okay? You could have bought some stuff. But I would just kind of let it play out. I mean, if you're a long-term investor, then, take a nibble at some stuff. But I'm not saying, and it's not financial advice. You don't have to go all in on something. Just be cautious, because we know there's more bad news out there in the future, and who knows what that'll bring. And not only that, but I was talking about a divergence. So right here where the slow stochastic hit, back in here, price was around 260, indicator right here, and after this today, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Maybe it'll, it could just curl off that and go higher and negate it, but that right there is higher price, lower indicator all day long. Hey, crypto fan. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get off the, excuse me, I'm going to get off the future stuff, and I'm going to start doing some charts for you guys. Let's see here. And Todd wanted to see. I'm just gonna go in order with how y'all put it. Excuse me, guys. All right, Todd wanted to look at where is it? NEO USD. All right, let's go to NEO. And while that's happening, I'm going to refresh the chart. There we go. Get a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. All right, so NEO is going to be pretty much to Bitcoin, Todd. It's pretty much going to trade how Bitcoin does. And, we're seeing this type of choppy upward movement after big spikes down. I mean, what one would want to see, right? Because this just looks corrective as hell. Okay. Let me get some of these old fibs out of here. Excuse me. Good news is that it's coming up and testing the 200 and the 233. Okay. That's the good news. Now let's go back here and just do some fib calculations. Let's get it on a daily so we can see it longer term. See, that just, to me, guys, that just reeks of a bearish flag pattern pennant. That's just corrective looking. I mean, in my eyes, that's what I'm seeing. Now, maybe I'll get proven wrong, and I need to refresh this again because this output is very low. Hang on. All right, there we go. And let's go do some fibs on it. All right, let's do one from this top down to this bottom, and let's see if anything's sticking out. Maybe like a 61.8 maybe, or even a 50. Okay, so 50% retracement from this top down to this bottom. And let's go from this top to this bottom. And let's see if we get any kind of clusters lining up on each other here. All right. So let's pull that over and see if the 38.2. Okay, so we don't really have any major clusters lining up on each other right now. And I'm not trying to make this look too messy, but, maybe here around the 50% retracement where we're at, break that at 830, 831, and then maybe you get a move close to 9. Okay, and then you get the 200, 233 right up in here. Okay, my video output is horrible here. What is going on? I'll refresh again. I'm going to have to find another outlet to do my charts because the streaming on this thing really bad. Okay, so let's see. Moving on, and I'm getting a lot of buffering going on. Let's go look at Link. And Link basically hit the 1272 retracement, still hugging that 200 and 233 day moving average right there. 10 trying to cross the 20. This one, I mean, we'll see. This one could pop higher. Maybe if Bitcoin does something and goes a little bit higher, maybe it drags Link with it. This one doesn't seem to have too much of the bearish looking, like up wedge looking type deal. This looks more bottomish, right? Looks more bottomish to me. Let's go look at XTZ. Basically hit the 61.8 retracement from that move to here. Let's go see what else we might have. Let's go from that top to this bottom. And sure enough, we get a fib cluster. 38.2 and a 61.8. That's what I call a pretty strong fib cluster. Not surprising. It's in this area where the 50 EMA is. Just wants to pause a little bit, maybe come back and maybe it'll test 180. And then maybe these moving averages, start hooking up and you can get the bearish or bullish move up, right? So that's what I would be looking for on XTZ. Price is outside Bollinger Bands, so just keep an eye on that. We've seen this in the past, though. This thing likes to hug that upper Bollinger Band when things get really going, so just watch for any tiny pullback inside of it, and then you might be able to accumulate a little bit more. Still cautious, though. As always, if it breaks the 10 and the 20, then you're coming back and testing the 200, 233. Okay. All right, what else did we want to look at? Link, ETH. Let's go look at ETH. Oh, wow, guys, my apologies. My video output on the streaming is absolutely horrible. I guess everybody and their dog must be using the internet these days. And I've usually got a fast. Yeah, it is. It's bad. It's really bad. I'm going to have to find another source. Yeah, right. It's just the bandwidth. Everybody's using the internet, these days. I mean, everybody and their dog, and so that drives your bandwidth down, and so doing best with what I got. All right, ETH, Ethereum, testing the 200 and the 233. Watch this very closely. If it starts to pull back off of it, then we know what can happen. That could drop all the way back down into here. If it can break above and get up and retest this big red stick right here, maybe a pullback to the 200 and 233 right there, maybe a pullback to it and then go higher. That would be something to watch. Okay. Wow, this is really bad, guys. Guys, my apologies. I'm trying, but this bandwidth right now is just really bad. I haven't seen it this bad in a long, long time. I am so trying. Let me do this. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to stop the streaming and restart it and see what that does. Okay, let's see if this does anything. I know there's still some DGB holders out there, but I'm just going to point out something real quick. So when I talked about moving averages, right? You see how wide apart the moving averages get? And I always talk about things come back and retest it, right? What you want to see is things retest them, hold, and then go higher. And if they don't, this is what can happen, right? With like DGB. It was up here around 300 sats, and then all of a sudden does this. And I mentioned probably a month ago, maybe even longer, I was like, okay, I just want to see the moving averages right here, especially the 200 and the 233, start getting closer to price. And when that happens, right, you can start looking for stuff, and when they get pinched like this, right in here, they get pinched. And then boom, DGB can take off. And you get a decent move. And that's what I was expecting when I made the call. Oh, it's probably been a month or so ago, maybe. And we got stopped out back in here. So March 20th or somewhere in there. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it was about a month ago. Not even a month. And I was thinking we could hold this 60 area and then turn these moving averages up. And then I was just a little early. Just a tad bit early. And then you get something like that. So just a tad early on it. Let's go look at XRP. And for whatever reason, my stream is actually seems like it's doing a little bit better. All right, XRP. Let's go over and see why I've got these Fibbo retracements in here. Okay, so these are gone. Get those out. And we'll basically just kind of start over on XRP. Yeah, I had to just, restart it. So that got it going a little bit better. Let's go ahead and do this. Similar pattern, right? Similar pattern right here. Just hanging within that red stick right there. But for giggles and grins, let's go do the fib retracement. And there's where we stopped, 38.2. And we're hugging the 50 EMA. Okay? Hugging the 50 EMA right now. 10 and 20 have crossed, which is a bullish sign, right? Let's not get that wrong. Okay? That's a bullish sign. 10 crossing the 20, which it has not done since back here. And we saw what kind of move it had. So we have to be cognizant of that, right? We have to make sure, is it going to maybe come up in here? Very possible. And, anything's on the table right now. I'm looking at this type of move, and then I'm looking at this right here. So preferably what I'd like to see on XRP is I would like to see it pull all the way back here to about 18.5 sats or 18.5 cents. Hold this, maybe even, let's call it 18. Hold this and then go higher. Right? Break through the 38 and come up and test the 50. You're going to have some resistance over here because you had support, which is now resistance. So this area is not lying too much. And then you got the 200 and the 233, which is going to be resistance as well. And then if it wants to break through that, then you can start looking a lot higher. Okay, so that's XRP. Let's go over to waves. Let's see, and that's going to be on where did I put that? Did you want the USD version on waves? Okay, I'll go ahead and do the USD version. Now, see, this is kind of what I'm talking about a little bit, right? All the way from $1.71 down to, 52 cents. And it's recovered that much. Let's do it. That's like 50%, if not more. Yeah, 50%. Okay? So let's do this. Let's take out 38.2. Boom, boom, and boom. So it's testing this 50% retracement area. Bollinger Bands, they're still tight, right? What you have to watch for, and I'm not trying to steer you off of it, but what can happen when you get outside Bollinger Bands and you ricochet, right? So I don't want to see it go outside and then ricochet and go lower. Okay? I want to see it come back here, and the moving averages are actually working in our favor for now, because we've got the 10, the 20 cross. It's above the 2 and the 233. Just slow, steady, just hang here, and then get this thing working up. Let the moving averages hold it, right? This thing could actually go sideways for a little while, which would not hurt it. But hold the 10 and the 20 and the 200, 233 right in here. But you got this doji right here where you got a lot of indecision. People are confused, right? Do I go long? Do I sell? That is a confusion candle. Okay? But it's got, and here's the deal. I would love to see this do something like back in here. So it went sideways for, January to, almost a month of going sideways. I would love to see that kind of action right there. It's going to be boring, and then all of a sudden it's like a rubber band. See these moving averages all coiled up together? All these moving averages are coiled within, price is so tight right here. So I'll just tell you right now, if me, I wouldn't mind and I may do it. I may put a little bit of money on waves. Because I feel like if it can just hang this area and let these moving averages kind of coil, then at some point it could break out. And the longer it does, then that just means accumulation to me. That's not people so much dumping. That's people trying to dump and somebody accumulating it. And then you might get that move back up to $1.50. And that's a pretty good gain. All right, questions, chart requests? It's too bad I lost everybody in the room because they probably got frustrated after seeing all the stuff. But anyway, got you guys here, so stream is good so far. So far. All right, so that is good deal. You are welcome, man. Thank you for coming in. Let's go look at... let's see. Let's look at some other stuff maybe on the indexes. Let's look at silver. Silver. Thought I had that under here. Let me see. I may have it under commodities, currencies, maybe. Oop. There we go. That's gold. There's silver. All right. Ooh. Okay. Things that make you go, Okay, let's do a fib on it. Right there to here. I don't think I got it. Hang on. There we go. All right, so let's go here to here. Testing the 50% retracement, testing the 50 EMA right here. And your upper Bollinger Band coming down as well. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. Let's see. YouTube is doing a lot of weird crap on their streaming stuff. I'm going to have to figure it out. And then you got this, doji right here. Had a nice move, tagged the 50% retracement, or the 50 EMA, I'm sorry. And then pulled back hard off of it. So support right in here around 14.5. If I can hold that, potential move to the next fib retracement, 16. Yeah, best. I'm sorry, man. It keeps rebuffering, and I'm gonna have to figure it out. I'm just gonna have to. In fact, if you guys, I mean, there's only 2 of you left in here. It looks like. If you guys want to do a test with me, I'm gonna give you. Let me see if I can give you the link. I may try something and see if it's better. Hang on 1 second. Okay, if you guys are in my Discord, hang tight for just 2 seconds. Watch the channel. I'm going to post a link because there's a different stream that YouTube has right now. Because I think they're trying to shut everybody off of this. So I'm going to do that. And then I'll post the link because I want to do a test, okay? And yeah, that would really help me out. So if I exit out of here, be patient. I'll post the link in Discord, and we'll see what happens. So give me just a minute here. Okay, so I'm going to stop the stream.